biggest obstacle you think that he has to overcome with the New York Jets?
I think for me, it's three things. Number one, health. That's a pivotal factor in Aaron Rodgers and also the Jets trying to complete a task that they want to complete when they traded for Aaron Rodgers. Number two, the offensive line. If those guys are able to keep Aaron Rodgers upright, I think we're going to see a tremendous year from the quarterback position for the Jets, something they haven't seen in a very long time. And then lastly, I think the AFC conference as a whole. We got to remember now, there's some young quarterbacks that can sling that football and some guys that want to probably get after Aaron Rodgers because he's just now joining that conference. So those are the three things I think that can, hinder the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers from doing some of the things that they want to do.
Kmart, biggest obstacle?
Oh, to me, it's the AFC, the quarterbacks. It's the competition. Every week that Aaron Rodgers plays a game, especially in his own division, with Tua, with Josh Allen, and then depending on how far they advance in the playoffs, you're going to see Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. It really is the quarterbacks because Aaron, let's face it, he's the old guy in the room, but he's supremely talented. Health and all that other stuff, that's something that a lot of other players have to deal with. To me, it really is the level of competition that he's facing in this division as opposed to the NFC.
Harry, you know that the Jets are banking that Aaron Rodgers in his first season will have the kind of success that Brady, Matt Stafford had, obviously, with the Rams. Do you think that can be achieved with the Jets?
I think it can. I think the most important thing in that being able to happen, though, is starting fast. You look at their first 5 games, you have Philadelphia, you have New England, you have the Chiefs, you have the Bills within those first 5 or 6 games. So you want to start fast. I don't think they have an opportunity to start slow. So if you're the Jets and you're Aaron Rodgers, which I think him being there in the offseason was very pivotal for this football team because of who they're facing coming out the gate. I think if they can start fast, I think things will be bright in New York.
Let's not forget, they also have the Cowboys in those first 3 games of the season, too, Harry.
No,
You
here
didn't
we
point
go.
that out.
We are 10 minutes into the show.
Just saying.
10 minutes into the show, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just saying.
And we've gotten this guy talking about the Cowboys. I mean.
Did he have the same kind of success in that first season?
Can he have the same kind of
like
success?
Brady, Stafford did. They went to the Super Bowl.
Here's the thing. The question of, is it more likely that the Jets miss the playoffs than make the Super Bowl? That's a question you can say for everybody, outside of the Chiefs and maybe the Eagles and potentially the Bengals, right? Every other team, it's probably more likely that they'd miss the playoffs than win the Super Bowl. But here's the thing. This is what I know about Aaron Rodgers. Like Brady, ultra competitive, one of the best to ever play the game, a quarterback who literally still is fueled by what he perceives as his draft day snub, right? And then you come into a situation where you've got a talented defense, you've got talented offensive weapons. Yeah, there's stiff competition in this division, but if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I actually like the situation I'm in. We got some of my former teammates, and we've got some new blood with these young players, and he's been there in the offseason. That's what we wanted Rodgers to do. Show up in the offseason, he's done that.
Is this Dak Prescott's best chance to get to the Super Bowl?
I don't even want to give you the satisfaction, Brian. I don't even want to say it. Cowboys fan here. Yeah, clearly, because I won't go as far as Dominique and say that NFC East is weak. Some of you covered quite a few Giants games last year. They've got some weapons now, so I think the Giants are going to be a lot better. And the Commanders, they're always a tough out. But the Dallas Cowboys, when you look at who are the formidable teams in the NFC, you're really looking at the Eagles, you're looking at the 49ers, and then you're looking at the Dallas Cowboys. Like, it's unlike the AFC, you don't have as many clear playoff contenders to go through. So yes, the window for the Cowboys is open right now. But if this is not the year, Brian, I would hate to see what's going to happen to you if the Dallas Cowboys don't win the Super Bowl this year.
Harry, is this Dak's best opportunity to win the Super Bowl and get to the Super Bowl?
All right, let's see here. This is the, 3rd or 4th year in a row that we've led with this. The Cowboys' best chance to try to win a Super Bowl. Can the Cowboys even get to an NFC championship game? So right now, I have the Cowboys as the 3rd best team in the NFC. If they have to run into the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs, if they have to run into the San Francisco 49ers, in which BC, they have lost the last 2 years against, with Jimmy Garoppolo as their quarterback, and also we know who the other one is, right? We all know who the other one is.
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy. So I need them to at least make a NFC Championship game. We keep talking about Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They can't even get out of the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah,
so why do we continue to
Harry
say?
has a good point there, Brian. What's your rebuttal? Because
the
we're spitting
Cowboys-
facts here. We're spitting facts,
yeah.
not fandom. So I'm just curious.
No, I understand. He also talked about the Eagles and getting past the Eagles.
Yeah.
Harry needs to also check that the Cowboys have beaten the Eagles in the postseason, if I'm not mistaken, 3 straight times. 3 straight. Look at it. 2009, they beat them. 95,
all the
they
way
beat them.
back to
92,
2009. Oh,
yeah,
my
absolutely.
Lord.
That's the last time they played.
No, Brian.
I'm just spitting facts.
Brian, I got one for you.
Yes.
I got one for you. What have you done for me lately?
Okay, I got
Have
you.
you done for him lately?
That's what we're about to find out this season.
Yeah, exactly.
With Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore now. We'll find out just how good the Eagles are, the Commanders, Sam Howell.
Clip it. Please clip this.
Yes.
Producers, clip that just in case
Absolutely.
Sam Howell goes off this year.
I'm just saying. Cowboys will win it.
Brock
There has
Purdy
not been a repeat
and
champion
Jimmy
in 19
Garoppolo.
seasons. Okay, there you go.
Brock
He whipped it up.
Purdy and Jimmy Garoppolo the last 2 years, BC.
Okay,
Those
yeah.
are the quarterbacks that the Cowboys have lost to in the playoffs.
And I'm still trying to figure out who is going to be the starter in San Francisco. They don't even know at this point.
It won't matter.
So I'm just saying. Give us the very latest. What are you hearing about Justin Fields there in training camp coming up?
He had a good mini camp, and I think that that's the biggest thing you can take away with some of the new additions around him, DJ Moore being that guy. And I remember asking Justin about this before they broke for the summer. Like, did you think the connection between DJ Moore came along to the speed where you were expecting it to? And he said he thought it came along faster, which of course is music to every Bears fan's ears, seeing what this receiving core was a year ago. And this was why it was such a priority for general manager Ryan Poles to get a #1 receiver in the package for the #1 overall pick. He knew that he needed to put his quarterback in the best possible situation to succeed in his 3rd season, so you could really get a decision on Justin Fields. Is he your franchise guy, or might you need to, next year with that extra 1st-round pick you have from Carolina, think about other options at playing that position? Moore comes in, he shines immediately, the deep ball was there, the speed was there. The thing that I found so interesting is that gear that he has, that extra gear to become even faster and create more separation, that's something that teammates noticed right away, that he's not running 100%, he's not running full speed, which shows you he can turn the jets on right away and create some pretty explosive plays downfield.
Something that obviously Justin Fields has needed.
So here's the thing. When you look at Justin Fields, this is the first time since he was at Ohio State that he's had the same head coach, the same OC, the same offensive system. So when you look at this kid, here's a guy who came to the Bears. The cupboard was bare. There was nothing. The protection was terrible. He took lumps that he shouldn't have, but he stood tall in the pocket, and he took those lumps, and he showed that, okay, this stage is not too big. Now you get a #1 receiver in DJ Moore. Now you look, what happened to Josh Allen when he got Stephon Diggs? What happened to Jalen Hurts when you added in A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith? You supply the QBs with weapons on offense and defense, and suddenly the QB plays better. Courtney made a great point about this front office and this head coaching staff. They inherited him. They didn't draft him. So this is still a huge year for Justin Fields to showcase with some new weapons, hey, I can be the guy here, and close that door on any discussion about, is Justin Fields really the answer?
Harry, let's talk about a position you know very well, that wide receiver spot. How will DJ Moore, you think, help out Justin Fields?
I think tremendously. And to both Courtney and also Kmart's point, I talk to coaches all the time in the National Football League, and one of the things that we discuss is how imperative it is to surround young quarterbacks around talent. Look what happened to Trevor Lawrence when you was able to get a new coach and also surround him with talent. And you look at all the other young quarterbacks as well, their game started to ascend. When it comes to Justin Fields having DJ Moore, I think it was very pivotal for the front office to trade for DJ Moore so he can have that #1 guy, that guy he can count on. But I also like Darnell Mooney. I like Cole Kmet. I like the signing of Deontay Foreman at the running back position. I like the draft pick in Darnell Wright. I watched the game. I was at the game working with College Game Day when Tennessee played against Alabama, watching him go against Will Anderson Jr. and holding his own. So the protection is important also, along with the playmakers for Justin Fields. Now he has, I think it's better for the Chicago Bears than it was a year ago. Also, what Kmart just talked about, being in the same offense for 2 years. I was a rookie at one point. I was in my second year at one point. It was like a chicken with my head cut off. All the information coming at you at one time. Now he's able to be more comfortable within the offense and be able to showcase talents and be able to see things more clear because he doesn't have so much cloud in his mind at the moment.
If that's the case, Kmart, and we've talked about how DJ Moore is doing great things for him so far here, do we see Justin Fields making one of those Jalen Hurts, one of those Josh Allen type leaps now in year 3?
I feel like people always mention Jalen Hurts first, but my hope is that that's what happens. The problem with comparing is that they're not all the same player, right? The skill sets are different, but the expectation is that once you give your quarterback stuff to work with, the quarterback should play better. Like, that's baseline. And I think Justin Fields has shown, yes, he did have to run. He did have to escape the pressure a lot last season. And but he has shown his arm. He has shown that he can make plays, that he can make deep throws, that he can be explosive. So you want to see that confidence grow with more weapons around him.
Given that, then, what should be the expectations?
I think the expectation for this team is incremental steps. And I think what I heard Harry saying there, like, do you expect them to be a playoff team this year? If you're looking at it realistically, they're still probably a couple years, maybe 1 or 2 away. Ryan Poles said during free agency, when the question was brought up about a couple holes they still had on the roster, especially along the defensive line, looking for some pass rush help, that they're going to have holes on this roster this year. That is a realistic way of looking at it, and that you can't fix everything in one offseason, but you have gotten closer with the additions that they brought in this year. I mean, Darnell Wright, I think the protection that Kim brought up, that is huge for one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the NFL. And some of that is on field. Some of that has to do with him being, the time to throw, holding onto the ball too long in the pocket. But a lot of that has to do with the starting 5 in front of him, and it's better than it was last year.
If they're playing meaningful games in December, that's a win.
Yeah,
I think that's what their standard should be.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.